Hey traders, it's in this coaching video today. I want to talk about something that I've just done. I've just finished a almost 8K run, and I've been listening to the audiobook The Path by the new audiobook from Tony Robbins and his partner. And whether you like Tony Robbins or not, or whether you like that sort of stuff or not, one thing I'm really learning, and one of the biggest mistakes I've made over my trading career, is not thinking long term. I've always thought, get the money, get the money, get the money, get the money. And that's always been the biggest problems for me, is I've always focused on what can I make now? What can I make this month? You know what I mean? Instead of saying, I'm going to take a portion of my money and put it over here and benefit from the macro type of things. Because most of my income comes from trading the market. So I have always been the person who wants to trade now to get the money, you know what I mean? And not think about long term. And that's always been my biggest downfall, I know that. And by listening to The Path by the new Tony Robbins book, I have really learnt that, let's take a little drink here. I've learnt, plus also listening to all these other people out there, Ray Dalio and so on and so forth. I know I need to take a portion of my money, of the funds I have available, and put it into a separate account. Now, the way I manage my funds right now is 50% of my capital is in my trading account that I actively trade every day with. 50%, and then the other 50% is actually in my bank account. It's just sitting there. So, what I've already done is this week I've already transferred a lot of money over to start positioning myself for what is coming. And now it's like, okay, and position yourself for what you know is coming. Now, what is coming down the road? We know that there's going to be a lot more printing of money. That's going to cause, at some point, it's going to cause inflation, which is going to cause what? Gold, silver, mining, all these things to be in a bull market, right? So what I've done and what I'm doing as I speak is I'm pulling money over, some of that funds anyway, some of the funds that's in my bank account right now, into another trading account or another investment account, should I call it, and positioning myself for the next decade. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm worried about now. What the money I pull out of my bank account, it's gone. It's in the markets, and I'm holding, I have like a 2026 view. I'm pretty confident by 2026, which is 5 years away, we would have started to see inflation pick up, we would have started to see these things pick up, and that would have benefited from the metals and miners, especially metals, would have been going through the roof because of this inflation. So I want to encourage you guys. My biggest mistake has always been thinking short term. Now, while I've done really, really, really well from trading, and I've done really well from that, and I absolutely love coaching as well too, I've never really pulled some of my funds out to benefit from the macro point of view. I've always been the short term type of trader. So I want to encourage you guys to maybe think the same thing. If you're like me, where I've been for the last 16 years, is get the money now, right? I want to look for a trade now so I can make money now, or the next week or two, not 5 years. But one thing I do know, right? Real wealth is built over just benefiting from massive long-term trends, right? And when I'm a trader and I have that mentality as a trader, a trader is getting in and getting out, right? That's what I do for a living. I trade the markets. So the reason why I say that is because, The reason why I say that is because I have I know my time's running out. I've been doing this for 16 years, as I said before. I've been doing this for 16 years, and I know myself. I need to start really benefiting from the macros and being smart about the way that I do things. Not just trading the markets, but having something else on the side that's going to benefit from these massive long-term trends, and you can do so well from that. You've just got to sacrifice a little bit, right? A little bit. Maybe take 20% of your funds out, even 15%, and start putting it into these things that you believe are going to benefit from the massive inflation that's going to start to pick up, and that's going to cause these assets rises. So for me, metals and miners are going to go through the roof, only because it's also a cycle thing, right? One thing I know about history is cycles. If silver, gold, miners haven't done really well for a long time, right? Well, guess what's likely to happen now, right? Everything goes in cycles. And for you guys that have been around for a while, or if you've studied history, you'll know things just go in cycles. So the stock market's been booming for the last 10 years, but miners and metals haven't. Maybe maybe gold has been doing that for the last, for the last 5 years. Oh, sorry, for the last 1 year, should I say. But that's just starting, I believe. So for the next decade, I believe what's likely to happen? Stock market's likely to do a nice move, but I don't believe the stock market's likely to do much this decade. They call it the lost decade. What is likely to do well? Let's just think about the cycles. What hasn't done well in the last decade? Metals and miners. What's likely to do well this decade? Metals and miners. Now, if we're looking for a fundamental reason why that's likely to happen, inflation. Why is inflation going to happen? Because they're going to keep printing more money. And there might be a good opportunity, or there might be a time where gold is now pegged back to the dollar, going back, right? Just going back in cycles, right? Going back to what was, and before you know it, things are taking off. So I want to encourage you guys to position yourself. I've taken a large chunk of my wealth and my funds, and I'm putting it. I'm still doing it right now. Next week, I'm doing this recording on a Sunday. Next week, I'm going to be transferring even more money into an investment account, putting more money into the mining stocks, and the mining index and so on and so forth. And my view is this decade. My view is not what happens today. If I get into today and the market drops 10% on me, I don't care. I'm not worried about that. It's a different mentality. Trading mentality is I'm looking for a pattern to get in, get out, short term, maybe 1 week, maybe 1 or 2 months, and make my income. That's how I make my income from that. But then I'm also positioning myself in the long-term wealth, because I know, just like Bitcoin, right? If I know what's likely to happen over this decade, and we're likely to start to see big inflation, we're likely to see Bitcoin top of action in some of these in some of these miners and metals. And if you're on that, guess what? You no longer got lucky. So anyway, guys, I hope this serves you well, and I hope this gives you guys something to think about. This is your coaching video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want some of my help, I'm giving my free trading course. Go to johnsfreegift.com. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think about miners, metals, what you think is going to happen with them. Do you think inflation is going to happen as well too? And also, let me know for you people that have been through history a bit, let me know what you think about the cycles, right? Do you agree with the cycle of things, like things happening again and again, right? Like booms and bust cycles happen again and again, and all that sort of stuff. Let me know what you think in comments below, guys. This is your coaching video. I hope it gives you guys some things to think about, and I know you guys can crush it. Just coming back from a run, finishing my BCAs, and I'm going to get to my kids. Happy Sunday, guys.